How's it going, everybody? My name is Chase Teep and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a video about the 5 different types of minimalism. This is something I really have wanted to make for a while now because minimalism is just kind of a term and a movement that's kind of thrown around a lot, specifically on YouTube. You can see just a lot of people using it as kind of a buzzword, when in reality there are so many different types of minimalism, at least in what I've perceived in my life, and I think I need to make a video about that. So again, I see a lot of people just kind of throwing around the word minimalism to fit their videos when, after years of kind of practicing and trying to understand as much about minimalism as I possibly could, I found that there are 5 different types of it. And so by the end of this video, I hope you guys know exactly what those 5 are, how they're different, how they're very similar, and then how you can implement those in your own life, the way that I'm able to a little bit, and hopefully just inspire you guys if you like any of the 5, or maybe all 5 in general, or maybe just 3 of the 5. I don't know. Whatever it is, hopefully find ways to implement those exact 5 ways, these types of minimalism in your life. Alright, so the first type of minimalism that I'm going to be talking about today is financial minimalism. Now, I've already made a video on that, so you can check out the link that's going to be in the top right corner to check out that video on the first steps towards becoming a financial minimalist. But yeah, this is kind of the type of minimalism that I feel the most related to. This is the one that really got me started on the path to minimalism. This is the one that I really try to emphasize the most. And by the way, you're going to find me struggling to say minimalism a lot throughout this video probably. I'm going to mumble through it sometimes. So minimalism. I'm going to try my best. But yes, the whole goal with financial minimalism is trying to spend as little money as possible and really focusing on the things that you value and find worthwhile when it comes to your money. Financial minimalists are incredibly ruthless when it comes to their money. They will not spend money on anything that they don't think is valuable. Whether this means not going to school and saving hundreds of thousands of dollars, or simply buying a $2 version of the same brand cereal instead of the normal non-brand cereal. Wait. Be the opposite. No matter what, they're very ruthless with their decisions, and honestly, this is something that I really got into early on in my life, and I've loved it ever since. It's something that I absolutely enjoy doing. I find, I've talked about it before, I find joy saving money, so it's always a really cool thing to actually find ways to do that. One habit that I absolutely have in my life is applying financial minimalism to my transportation methods. I walk to and from work. It's about an hour, it's about a mile and a half to and from work. And really, I could Bird, I could Uber, I could buy my own car and just drive instead, but I don't, because I think it's worthwhile to do the 30-minute walk there and back again instead of paying for anything to actually help me do that. That's the one way that I save money. It's a conscious decision that I made a while ago, and I like it because I save lots of money by doing it, and it makes me feel good knowing that I'm saving that money. So there you go. That's a little example for myself. But honestly, if you want to implement this in your life, it's pretty straightforward. Anything that you can cut out of your life and not spend any money on, but still be happy and still survive, only paying for things that you need or things that you think are valuable, that's financial minimalism. That's absolutely the way that you can implement that in your own life. All right, the second form of minimalism that we're going to be talking about today is something that I call physical minimalism. Now, honestly, this could just be replaced with the word minimalism because this is kind of the type of minimalism you could say that started them all. This was the start of the movement. I call it physical minimalism because it really means you're trying to cut down on the amount of things around you, the material goods that you own or the things around you and in the physical space that you're in. For instance, this is my room, this is my bed, this is where I live, and all I've got are some books, my glasses case, phone charger, and this plant to just bring a little bit of color into my life. Speaking of color, do me a favor, find that gray like button and turn that like button blue. Bring a little bit of color to your feed the same way that this plant brings some color to my life. There you go, there's your cheesy like request. But anyways, back to the actual video. Yeah, as you can see by my setup, I really don't have a lot of things going on in here. And that's exactly how I practice physical minimalism. I have almost nothing in my room. I don't have a lot of just physical things that I own, to be honest. I have a closet that's about this big and that fits all of my clothing. So that's kind of the way that I do it in my own life. And for you, anything that you can do to really declutter. I know you can find a lot of videos online. I'm probably going to be making some videos myself about how to declutter and just kind of cut down on the amount of things that you own. I've just found that it really gives you peace of mind to have less, even though it's kind of backwards. And for a lot of people, they think that the more things they own, the happier they'll be. I've kind of found that the inverse is the truth. I'm happier the fewer stuff I own, if that makes sense, which is crazy, but it's something that I learned a while ago, and now that I'm implementing it in my life, it does make me happier, and I absolutely enjoy it. And this third type of minimalism is actually the one that I feel the least related to, but it's the one that I actually want to improve at the most, and this is environmental minimalism. Now, what I mean by this one is actually doing everything in your life with the conscious thought in your head of trying to do what's best for the overall environment. This means cutting down on the physical trash that you throw away, your carbon footprint, trying to make it as small as possible. That's environmental minimalism. And honestly, it's the one that I don't do very much. It's not something that plays in my decision making a lot, but I really want it to in the future. In fact, one of the things on my bucket list is to go an entire calendar year and fit all of my trash that I accumulate over that entire year into a single garbage bag. I think stuff like that is so cool. Just literally doing things to immediately and very visually cut down on your carbon footprint. I think that's awesome. And that's something that I want to do throughout my life. I want to do things like that all the time. And again, something that I do right now, I guess, that does feed into that. It goes back to this concept of walking to and from work. One of the reasons that I don't have a car and don't want a car now or in the future is because it does really help the environment. I do really believe in that fact. And it's just one of the reasons why I don't ever want a car, because I think that it helps so much for me to just walk to and from work. It's a simple change. It saves me money, and it gives me peace of mind knowing that it's actually aiding in my attempts to be an environmental minimalist. For you guys out there, honestly, anything that you can do to cut down on how much waste you create, or how much water you use, or the electricity that you use, anything that you can do to cut down on those things is absolutely massive and helps you become an environmental minimalist. Maybe it's like I was just talking about, walking to and from work or taking public transportation instead of owning and driving a car every day. Maybe it's turning the water off when you brush your teeth. Maybe it's leaving the lights off when you're not in the living room. Anything like that that can cut down on your carbon footprint, that's an environmental minimalist thing that you can implement today. A lot of these things are very straightforward. You can start doing them literally today, which is pretty cool. The fourth type of minimalism that we've got going on is actually something that I found a lot of research about, even though it's something that isn't talked about a lot. Specifically on YouTube, I don't see a lot of videos about this type of thing, but it's actually what I call, I didn't coin this term, I've read about it multiple times, but mental minimalism, and I kind of consider it the same as time minimalism. Every other type of minimalism that we've talked about today is related to something physical, whether it's the environment around you, the physical space around you, or your money. This one is different in that it relates something that is intangible. It's basically just something that relates to your attention and what you choose to focus on and what you spend time thinking about. And again, this one isn't really talked about on YouTube a lot, but I think it's really important because honestly, it's about what you choose to spend your time thinking about, what you choose to focus on with your time. So if you really want to spend a lot of time thinking about things that don't bring you happiness or don't further your life or get you closer to achieving certain goals in life, you can probably cut that out of your life the same way as you would cut out things in your room to make you feel more at peace or give you peace of mind, things like that. Anything that you can do to really focus on the things that make you happy or bring you joy, anything that you can do to focus on those more and focus on things that cause you stress or things that make you sad or things that make you anxious less. That's what this whole concept of minimalism is about. It's just really training your mind and forcing yourself to focus on things that make you feel better and then not focus on things that make you feel worse. It's a really cool concept. It's obviously very different because in the other aspects of minimalism that we've talked about, it's kind of straightforward. You get rid of the things that aren't there. But this one really forces you because you can't just throw away thoughts. You know, those thoughts are going to keep coming back and you just have to actively practice and suppress those things and focus on the things that you want to focus on. It's a pretty cool concept. It's a long-term goal for sure to actually want to be a part of this and actually implement this form of minimalism, but it's really cool. And again, I think it's something that isn't talked about enough. So if you want to do it yourself, again, focus on the things that make you happy. Spend time on things that make you happy. And if there's anything else in your life that you find yourself thinking about constantly, thinking about a deadline happening in 2 weeks, thinking about a test that you've got in a few days, instead focus on something that makes you happy, like the going out with your friends tonight or playing a video game tomorrow, anything that like that, even if it's simple, it can really help you in the long run and help you become a mental minimalist. And the final form, the fifth form of minimalism that we're talking about today, is one that I absolutely love. I've really dove into it recently. I'll get more into that in a second. But this one is digital minimalism. Now, if you've been paying attention in a lot of these videos, actually one of the books that I've got behind me is literally titled Digital Minimalism. It's a book by Cal Newport, and it has been one of the most influential books that I've ever read in my life. I love it. That's why I leave it on the shelf. These are basically three of my favorite books, the most influential books I've ever read, and this is absolutely one of them. There you go. Digital Minimalism right there by Cal Newport, one of the best books I've ever read. But anyways, what this type of minimalism is really cutting down on the time you spend looking at a digital screen or on apps or basically on anything involved with your computer or your phone or really any other type of digital device. This type of minimalism is unique because really a lot of people in your life and a lot of the things that you have to do in life are kind of predicated on the opposite. A lot of things that you have to do, specifically for people who work in any service job where you need to be on a screen all day, they really encourage you to do the opposite of digital minimalism. You know, the more time you spend on the device, the better. And that's exactly what apps or any companies that are online like Twitter or Google or Facebook, this is exactly what they want you to do. They're trying to get your attention for as long as possible and keep you on their app for as long as they possibly can. And I totally understand if a lot of people think that this is a type of minimalism that they just can't vibe with. I totally get that. For a lot of people, their job revolves around digital devices, things that they need to do on their phone or on their computer. Me personally, my job is working as a production assistant for the NFL Social Lab. I literally work for the social media department of the NFL, helping to create the content that goes online. As you can imagine, my job is pretty much revolves around being online as much as I possibly can. But even though that's the case, I'm extremely intentional about how much time I spend actually online. I'm only on Twitter when I need to be for work. I'm only on Slack when I need to be for work. All the other times that I can, as much as I possibly can, I am not on my phone at all. This is really a form of minimalism that I've been getting very much into over the course of the last even few weeks. So it's something that's very new to me, but something that I'm really trying to implement in my life as much as I possibly can. And a lot of the things that I'm doing come from this book. So if you are interested in this, if you found this topic interesting, I highly encourage you to read Cal Newport's book and then also stick around on the channel because I'm definitely going to be posting videos in the future about digital minimalism. Specifically videos like how you can be a digital minimalist with a job that revolves around social media, how you can stay off of social media while working in social media. These are things that I'm actively trying to get better at. Every single day I'm trying to improve at this, and I'm going to be making videos about it in the future. So if that's something that interests you, hit the subscribe button. Be sure you don't miss an upload so that in the future when those videos come up, you're definitely going to be there to watch them. But there you go. Those are my 5 types of minimalism. Those are the 5 that I've noticed in my life to be the most prevalent forms of minimalism. Now, if you think that there are more, or you just want to talk about the ones that I've talked about today, absolutely comment below. I guarantee you that I will respond to your comment. Absolutely. Let's start a conversation about this. I would love to know any and all of your guys' thoughts about minimalism in these 5 types, or maybe a 6th type that I'm forgetting, or 7, 8, and 9th, whatever it is. Please absolutely comment down below. And before you click off this video, please be sure to turn that like button blue. Don't leave it gray. It really helps the channel out. It really helps this video get pushed to a larger audience and helps my channel in general. And it makes me happy. So please, please do that for me if you can. Comment down below, subscribe for all the future videos. And with that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you next time.